What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fulcrum Report. Woo! I am your host and co-director, Sebastian. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And I have here our other co-host slash director slash editor. He does it all, Gilbert.
How's it going, everyone?
And then next we have Marshall. What's going on, Marshall?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me back for episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7 of the podcast. Thank you so much for being on. And then Harrison's out this week. I guess his cover fell over or something. So we have Alex right here, a good friend of mine. So you want to give yourself a little bit of introduction and maybe just give everybody a what's up?
All right. Lifelong nerd. Grew up on Star Wars and video games. It's how I developed emotionally. Growing up on this, before I had words, I knew Luke's betrayal.
Absolutely. Right on. Thank you so much, Alex, for being on the show. Cool. So let's get on to our... we're going to do a quick quiz question for the week. So, Alex, you're new to this. What we're going to do is I'm just going to ask a question at the beginning of the episode, and then by the end of the episode, we're going to answer it, and then we'll just kind of have a week's winner. So, yeah, sound good? Okay, yeah. Cool. So the question of the week is, we just got the trailer to Star Wars Resistance. What Star Wars TV show would you create? Basically, what era Star Wars would you have it? What characters would you have? Yeah, just a brief, maybe title description. So at the end of the episode, we'll answer that. Yeah. So, all right, let's get on to our first topic. We have the first trailer that dropped this week for Star Wars Resistance. We got to first look at the characters, some of the animation, and maybe a glimpse into this post Return of the Jedi, prior to The Force Awakens. So, Gilbert, if you want to start us off, what are your first impressions on this new Disney animated series?
Well, first off, I think the animation looks really cool. We were talking about, it definitely looks anime inspired, and I think that one other thing is that it definitely takes place between like we were thinking before Force Awakens, kind of thing, and you can tell that just from the character design, from the way that everything looks, and just from how the First Order, at least in the trailer, hasn't really been prevalent yet. It kind of makes it feel like we're going to see the origins of the First Order, and that to me is really cool.
Right on. Marshall, are you excited about this show? Are you excited to kind of see why is The Force Awakens and kind of this new sequel trilogy era? Are you excited to find out more about that?
Yeah, it'll be the first kind of Star Wars TV show that I'll watch from the very beginning, because I've missed out on Rebels and Clone Wars, so yeah, I'm excited.
Do you feel like you're possibly, if you do enjoy Star Wars Resistance, you might go back and watch the Clone Wars? Because, and me, Gilbert, can definitely vouch for this one, that's an excellent animated series. Do you think this might, if it's good, encourage you to go watch those series?
Yeah, 100%. I still want to go back and watch all of them. I mean, I'm terrible for TV shows. I still haven't watched Game of Thrones, Dragon Ball Z. You name it, I haven't watched it, so... I've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, I know. I'm followed a bit behind on. I haven't even. I've caught up with all the the Cliff's notes for Rebels, but I haven't even watched the final half of the final season. So I need to catch up on mine too. So, Alex, what are you thinking on the new one? Have you seen the trailer? And does this excite you a little bit? Are you going to check this series out, or does it look too kiddish for you? What are your thoughts?
Well, naturally, I kind of stick to a more mature themes for what I crave. But it does look really interesting. Something that really sticks out is the anime influence. And I think there's something poetic about that, because George Lucas took a lot of great influence on, what was it called? The Hidden Fortress? It was an Eastern tale and then a movie. So everything's kind of going to connect together. And I don't know, it feels... I want to see how the storyline plays out. There's going to be a lot of world building. This is the place for it. There's a lot of world building that I wish happened in the movies. But it left me asking more. What is the government? Is the resistance the good guys? What is going on? It never showed us the paradise that was destroyed.
Yeah, no, Gilbert, you want to pick up on that a little bit? We kind of did get dropped into this almost reskinned version of the prequel trilogy. Are you excited to find out more about this era that we really don't know anything about? And if so, are you excited about the political aspects? I know we saw some stuff that might look like it's the New Republic. Are you excited to see? And I didn't even know the New Republic had a military. So, are you excited to see some of those aspects?
Yes. I mean, obviously, we're going to see conflict with the First Order being there, and it would be kind of interesting to me to see how they spawned up, and maybe they spawned up because the New Republic wasn't as perfect as we're all led to believe that it is. You know, like maybe we're not rooting for the good guys, maybe we're rooting for the bad guys here, just like Alex was saying. I'm thinking like, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to me. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And I believe that the premise of the series is we're going to have this main character whose name is escaping me, but don't worry, Kaz, I believe. Yeah, it's short for something, but I'm sure after this series, yeah, we'll all be brainwashed after it's released and have it in the back of our minds. But I believe the main character of the series is going to be a spy for the Resistance, and I guess he is, and help me out with this, Alex, maybe, he's like a racer, and he's kind of undercover to find out about the First Order within the Resistance or within the New Republic, or so. What's that looking like, Alex?
It's really not clear so far. They've painted a broad picture. He is a ace pilot. He's got a pit crew now, and he's going to be traveling all over the galaxy as that kind of like as his cover. So from that kind of reminds me of an old 60s TV show called I Spy, which was about a undercover tennis player going through the Soviet Union, spying all over the place.
So we're essentially getting like a Star Wars version of this then.
Starring John McEnroe.
Marshall, so it seems like we were getting that type of story. I've seen some breakdowns. It appears that there's some stickers on one of the racers, or one of the, I don't know, what are we calling these starships? But these ships themselves, they're kind of like, and we can talk about these ships too, because we get some pretty cool Star Wars aircraft. I guess they're like racers, sky racers, or something like that. But we get a sticker / emblem of the Millennium Falcon, and I guess in the canon right now, post Return of the Jedi, we get Han Solo as basically a manager for these types of racers. Do you think? So let's talk a little bit about the ships themselves, and then like possibly seeing Harrison Ford show up in cameos that you might like to see in this series. Yeah,
the ships look pretty cool. I'd like there to be some racing scenes, but not cheesy, kind of like the pod racing ones. But no, it'd be cool if there was like different teams that had different managers. They all compete against each other. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Do you think it would be talking cameos, possibly one episode having Han Solo be maybe a manager of a rival racer or something? And would you like to see these races go throughout the series and maybe go throughout different planets? And I don't know what's going on with those rings, if those are like speed up rings or if it's part of the rules of the racing and part of like how the lap system works. But would you like to see them kind of go to different planets?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it like the whole show, but I mean like every 2 episodes or so have a race on a different planet, because they could do some really cool planets as well. Especially, and I think Poe could be a good coach / manager for the racers as well.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah,
to watch him like coach them on, this is how you do this maneuver, this is how you do that. Like this kind of stuff we see him do in Last Jedi or in Force Awakens.
Yeah, give a bit of a background to how he became such a good pilot as well.
But also, I actually want to see some of these worlds that are in threat, that are in conflict now, that are about to be taken over and overruled. That's the message of Star Wars. Like, the darkness is coming. This is kind of the lie low period. I don't know.
Yeah.
We need something to care about, like, before the enemy comes and takes over. I want to see more. There's so much there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We got to see a glimpse of some First Order. I don't even know if that was and then Gilbert will have the image up for this one, but I don't know if it's a new variant or if it's just the way of the animation. But we definitely got the First Order coming up in the show. What do you want to see out of the First Order, Gilbert?
Well, first, I've talked about this before, how I felt cheated about Phasma being taken out early. I would love to see her origins.
Yeah, and we're definitely getting her in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people are thinking with in the trailer with that one stormtrooper that has really shiny armor. They're thinking that's Phasma, but I'm not convinced about that one because they have gold armor in that. Maybe that's Phasma's mentor. Maybe that's who trained her kind of thing, which I think would be really, really cool.
Yeah, and from the novel, we also, I believe it was the Phasma novel, there were variants of troopers with Phasma's armor, but red, and I believe there's a black one as well. So yeah, there could be a gold one. Maybe, so we can get a younger Captain Phasma, maybe a bit more of her origin.
Maybe when she was the captain, maybe when she was Private Phasma, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and maybe see her go on more of these missions and get, her hands a bit more dirty too, and give the character a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Marshall, do you think that maybe we'll get some Snoke in here? Do you think we'll get Knights of Ren? Do you think we'll get young Kylo Ren?
Yeah, I mean, Kylo Ren, the Knights of Ren, Snoke, Phasma, they're all desperate for some, more backstory, and a new series is the perfect way to do that, I think.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, no, Alex, do you think we're going to get a little bit, do you think we'll get some of that stuff in there? I believe the trailer just covered the first hour-long special, so we really didn't get to see anything of the series. So do you think we'll get some Snoke, Kylo Ren, maybe Knights of Ren, and then maybe it'll even tie into the episode 9 a bit?
Yeah, I would love to. There's such an opportunity. They did all the groundwork. They built these very imposing silhouettes, and then they just kind of never brought them up again.
Yeah. So definitely, and hopefully these shows can give a little bit more justice to some characters that we haven't seen. Just like the Clone Wars, kind of gave a little bit more justice to General Grievous and Count Dooku and made them seem way more badass than their movie counterparts. So hopefully we'll definitely get some justice out of Kylo Ren and Snoke and Phasma. And so, that's Star Wars Resistance. We'll keep an eye out. That's coming out October. I don't know. Hopefully we're all excited about that. I'm going to definitely check it out. And then our listeners, let us know down below in the comments if you guys are going to check the show out or if you think it's this totally kids show and they wrecked your Star Wars. So all right, let's go on to the next topic. We're going to talk a little bit about I believe it's been we're going to talk a little bit about rumors, so spoiler alert. I don't know if this was based off of concept art, but it showed up in quite a few places now, so we're going to talk about it. Either there was set leaks or concept art of Finn, Rose, and Poe Dameron on a set, kind of mimicking the Return of the Jedi opening scene with replacing Jabba the Hutt with Rotta the Hutt, Jabba's son from the Clone Wars. And I guess Rotta the Hutt is now helping the Resistance, so we get this kind of mirror image of Jabba the Hutt. So instead of a villain, we get this. So I see what they're kind of trying to do. And then also in the description, I believe they said there was like some sort of sky skiff or something above that Rey's on. I don't really know what's going on with the whole context of the story, but I guess visually the whole report was trying to say that they're definitely trying to call back to Return of the Jedi. Gilbert, do you want to talk about maybe what could possibly be going on with Rotta the Hutt, how he's helping the Resistance, and how this might, if this is possible, lead into the whole Episode 9 story?
Well, personally, I find it kind of strange, to hear that a Hutt might be helping the Resistance. That's the remnants of the people who killed your father. It kind of makes no sense that he would be helping them,
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think this is totally BS and we're just
they might actually have him there, but I think it might be like a false rumor saying that he might be helping them. The only reason I say that is because it just seems off, because the Hutts have always been portrayed as like an evil race, except for, I guess, in the Clone Wars movie when it first showed Jabba's son as a baby, but he's a baby, how's a baby evil? It just really doesn't strike me as normal. It just seems off.
I love the idea. Disney loves to bring back characters. Like, just talking about Han might be in the other show. Of course, they're going to bring back a new character. And nothing will be funnier than watching a slug man run around the screen for 30 minutes in the opening. But Hutts have always struck me of opportunists. And there's no opportunity under fascist rule. And, if they can make a bargain that betters themselves, they'll take it. Rhoda might be happy that he got his father out of the way.
All right, yeah, fair enough. I didn't see it from that angle, but that's a good point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's been a lot of talks that this is going to be the final Star Wars movie. I mean, it is the final Star Wars movie, but J.J. Abrams has been kind of wanting to have nods to every single movie from the saga. So I'm not 100%. Maybe this is just fans trying to, make up an episode 9 scene mirroring Return of the Jedi. Marshall, we have people for it. We have people against it. Where are you standing? How do you feel about the idea of the Hutts showing up in this movie?
I'm happy to see the Hutts again, but I have to agree with Gilbert. I can't see Rhoda helping the Resistance unless there was something big in it for him. So I think he's either bargained with them for something, or it's just a complete rumor and he is a bad guy, as Jabba was.
Yeah, who knows? This also could start as a friendly encounter, and then maybe it's an opening scene of the movie, and they go to meet Rhoda, and they think he's a friend, and all of a sudden everything gets turned. And maybe that's why they have Rey hanging out up top, because she's going to come and rescue him if stuff goes bad. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they got going on. I'm totally down with nods. I'm totally down with seeing these characters return. Another thing I noticed too, if you look at all the new Disney Star Wars movies, for some reason in the openings of their movie, they like to have some sort of like large CGI creature. They had in Rogue One, they had what was it, McCall, the tentacle monster, the psychic tentacle monster. I remember.
So many tentacles now.
Yeah. And then in Solo, we had that mother worm that was kind of in charge of the crime on Corellia or something going on with that. Yeah, throw in the CG.
We like monsters for some reason.
Disney likes monsters for some reason.
When did it become a body horror movie?
Yeah. They look good in the trailers, that's why.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all those shots are for. Trailer shots, and then we'll give a little bit of a reason why they're in the movie.
That's my cynical view of it anyway.
Okay, any last thoughts on this, or are we going to kind of move on till we hear it materialize more?
No, I'm good.
Good. Okay, no more Rotta the Hutt. All right, Gilbert, you are actually the only one here that's keeping up with the Star Wars comics. Do you want to talk about briefly the new issues from the Star Wars, since we talked about that last week in the go for it.
For the story for the storyline for this, issues 50, 51, and 52 of Hope Dies, and just like we were talking about last time, how it takes a darker tone. Oh, believe me, dude, it oh my god.
So where does this take place? Is this
okay? Well, Hope Dies takes place in the direct aftermath of what happens in issue 49, which takes place on Mon Cala, which is Admiral Akbar's home planet, and it's during like their king gets assassinated, and during that time there's a revolt, and so the rebels show up. Luke, Leia, Han, they all show up, and they do that. They do their Jedi thing, and they save the day, and in return for that, they get the Mon Cala fleet, and it's a pretty sizable fleet. That brings us into issue 50, where they're all cheering and they're celebrating and yay, we got the fleet. But I don't want to spoil too much, but they get betrayed, and Darth Vader shows up with a whole bunch, with like 3 or 4 Star Destroyers and a giant Star Destroyer that we've never seen before, and their entire fleet just gets destroyed. It gets completely wrecked. And yeah, Darth Vader has like a bunch of, like, he has like 4 or 5, so many Star Destroyers, just completely destroying everything and chasing the Millennium Falcon, like to the point where Han Solo he's only narrowly avoiding being destroyed.
Is this set right before Empire, correct?
Yeah, I think it's what's supposed to lead into Empire and why they're hiding out on Hoth. It shows us exactly how they got to that point of being like on the run from the Empire.
Gotcha. Do you see the series ending anytime soon? Is it coming? Do you feel it coming to its end?
Well, from the looks of it, they haven't come out yet, but it seems that Hope Dies is going to be up to about 7 parts. So I don't think it's going to end anytime soon, or at least not for a couple months. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious of like how much time they have after, because they are telling the story between A New Hope, and then you get a lot of stories about them looking for like new rebel bases. That's where we get like a Return to Jedha and Crate. Yeah. Marshall, are you gonna pick up any of these comics? Are you thinking about any of these, or are you too behind?
I could do, but where I am, it's not like I can go and walk into a comic book shop, unfortunately. So I'd have to like
The beauty of the
order them
internet.
in bulk from Amazon. Yeah, just a crate of comics from Amazon.
Yeah, gotcha. Do any of these stories appeal to you? Do you think you might pick up some issues?
I think the only problem is knowing where to start with Star Wars books and comics. If you get what I mean, because there's so many different ones.
Yeah.
Like,
now with Disney,
which one do I start with?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, if you want to just start with the Disney canon, that's a little bit of an easier one, since that I believe started in 2015. And then if there's some great stories and legends, but if you don't want to mess around the stuff that doesn't count anymore, you can start 2015 kind of on. Alex, you're not really into the comics or books so much. Is there a particular reason maybe why? And
Actually kind of rethinking my position. I mean, Hope Dies sounds kind of dark. I like mature stuff. It's hard to find sometimes. Most Star Wars stuff is like young adult novels.
Yeah, this one is definitely not.
Yeah, so it's like he's right. There's such a vast ocean of Star Wars media.
what kind of stories would possibly need to show up in a comic book or a book that would make you pick that up? Would that be a Darth Revan book or a character that you love? What would make you, who's not really a book person, change their mind and go get the Star Wars book?
Jeez, I don't know. It has to tell a good story. It has to be that first and foremost. It kind of, I don't know, I'm super picky. It's hard to give you one exact thing that I go, oh, that's me, I must. But actually, Hope Dies sounds pretty close.
Okay.
I mean, it's in a comfortable time period. Like, I didn't even think about what happened between those two until he started like giving me these dire details leading up to a bigger story, like some things that actually feel like important.
Okay, so you're okay with occasionally some of us have an issue with too many questions being answered, unanswered questions, but sometimes there are questions that do need to be answered. Yeah, and you don't have time for that in movies, and you just gotta cram it somewhere in a book or a show or something. So no, there's cool stuff. There's cool books, cool shows. It's like I said, it's kind of directed more towards particular audiences. But if you're into Star Wars and you enjoy comics, you enjoy books, you enjoy all this stuff, there's something cool everywhere. So, yeah. Any last thoughts on the comics, Gilbert? If
you haven't read them, go read them because they are awesome.
Right on. All right, Gilbert, you want to talk a little bit about something? We're going to talk about games because we all love games so much here. What game are you gonna talk about this week, Gilbert?
Fallout 76, which
I've never heard of that game. Do you want to talk about a different one? No.
If you haven't heard about Fallout 76, I have nothing to say to you, buddy.
Get out.
Yeah, just go away. No, but in all seriousness, though, first of all, the first thing I want to say about this one, and I want to get all of your reactions from it, is this is something that's completely unprecedented for a Fallout game. Is it's going to be completely online. Like, it's going to be almost like Elder Scrolls-esque, and in that you'll have to be on an online server, and you could just run into other players at any given moment. So I guess I'll start with Marshall, and then I'll go to Alex, and then Sebastian. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm not happy about it. I would rather have a full single-player Fallout game. That's how I've always wanted Fallout games to stay. New Vegas is my personal favorite. And when there was rumors going around that Obsidian, the guys who made New Vegas, might be making the next one, I was all excited, and then they announced this one, and no, it's just not doing it for me.
All right. Alex, how about you?
Oh, that was my exact feelings for a long time. I want to see Obsidian back in the reins of the series, and take it back to the West Coast. But then, I had to swallow that pill that is 76 is coming out whether I love it or not. And then I started looking into it. It piques my interest. It's I hate that it's just pooping all over lore. Like, there's a lot of really good and clever writing that the other studios, Interplay and Black Isle, put in the groundwork. I don't know. I'm a sucker for world building.
All right. And Sebastian, how about you?
Story-wise, I think it looks cool. I've been kind of in and out of the Fallout world for a bit, so this is going to be the first one that I'm going to sit down and play through a whole bunch. The online aspect doesn't bother me a whole bunch. Like I said, I'm not like a purist, as some of you may be, so the online thing. I also feel like it might be, and maybe you guys want to talk about this, but possibly like a spin-off game. I feel like there might be a Fallout 5 in a few years, or another Fallout type game, and this might be just a different type of project to kind of tie you over, set in the world of Fallout.
Absolutely, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. So it looks cool to me. I want to talk a little bit once we talk about gameplay, but player size. I don't know how many people are on this map. If it's a large map, I would like there to be a large amount of people, especially since what were we going?
Yeah, they actually answered that during E3. Is because they're going to have multiple dedicated servers to this game. You're not going to run into 100 people. You'll barely run into maybe 20. Like on any given server, there will be maybe about like 30 to 40 people, maybe, and it's a huge map. It's going to be, I guess they boast about having 6 distinct regions, and it's going to be like bigger than any Fallout map than we've ever had before. And so I don't think that there's much chance, like unless you have friends who you invite into the game, there's not going to be much chance that you're going to run into a whole lot of people.
Yeah, they're going to have private servers as well if you'd rather not play with anyone else.
Yeah, more than likely. They do also talk about how you can play this game single player if you want to. But I have no doubt they'll have some kind of like private feature or like, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they did confirm, I think it was earlier this week or last week, that there will be private servers.
Yeah, because no one wants to build their giant mansion or whatever in the Fallout universe and have just some a-hole come in and just blow it up. Because they also boast that can happen as well, is that someone can just come into your base and destroy it because screw it, I'm playing as the bad guy.
It's so weird in this light MMO genre time where you have a game where it's like a single player and it's like, well, how can we stretch it for friends? Well, then we just have to take away NPCs, factions, villages, we'll just take away all the voice actors. Well, it's so weird.
Yeah, and it looks like, I think it's definitely the same engine, same physics. I mean, I'm sure they'll just whatever to make it a little bit more modern.
And one more thing I find really interesting about it is that apparently the environment is completely dynamic. So let's say...
That's awesome.
Let's say I want to go into your base and destroy it. Like I can use a mini nuke or whatever and blow it up, and your generator will actually blow up, and you'll have to build a new one. Or like I can destroy the house that you built, and apparently even in some hidden parts of the map there'll be nuclear weapons that you can actually you can drop a nuke on someone if you want to, and it'll completely change the map. Because when you drop a nuke on an area, it doesn't just not stay the same. It will the buildings will be destroyed. There'll be monsters everywhere, and that just seems cool to me.
That's kind of their big selling point is teams of friends find the codes for the nukes and then nuke other teams.
Yeah, exactly. Or just maybe this guy screwed all 5 of you over. Well, then you guys work together to find the codes, and then you blow this guy's base up.
Well, this kind of leads to the anti-griefing stuff. It's apparently going to be very hard to get the nukes, and there's going to be like a 30-minute countdown and alarms if a nuke's going off, and you'll know where the nuke is going to land.
So it'll give you time to get out of there.
Yeah. And
okay, now real quick, talking about griefing, giving all this time, does I don't know. To me, that sounds like they're taking a little bit fun out of the sound of a nuke, giving everybody this time to evacuate everything. I mean, I know we're changing the terrain and everything, but it's also a tool, and I think it would be fun to be able to drop it on some unsuspecting bystanders. I don't know about you guys.
Like, what if I'm just walking on this part of the map and I did nothing to either of you? I'm just another player. Like, that would be kind of funny to have to see.
Looking a little closely at the ones and zeros, I don't know if a nuke is going to be an offensive weapon. It's going to be a harvesting tool. You drop it creates a dynamic glowing sea, and now you get all the nuclear radiation govs. Higher enemies, like in Fallout 4, the glowing sea was where you went for the evil.
No, absolutely. Agreed. Yeah, no, it looks cool.
Now that we've gotten through all that, what do you guys think as far as like story-wise? Like, what are you expecting or what are you hoping for?
I'm thinking Enclave, because all of the vaults, all the control vaults, were not made to control against other vaults, like as a normal population set. the Enclave controlled all of Vault Tech and put these things together, and they kidnapped the population of Vault 13 to experiment on them in Fallout 2 just because they were unmutated. So I think this is all a Vault Tech scheme, and because you can't make it have any impact. This is a black hole. This is a black hole in canon, basically. This is the other side of the mountain of Fallout 3.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask, because my fear story-wise is that there isn't... I mean, I bet stories and quests and stuff to do, yeah, but I'm afraid of it being kind of more of this, like, open-ended playground Fallout game, which is...
Yeah.
I do want, but I want with... I want it to be that after I get a nice story. I want that to be, like, the end game.
Yeah, didn't they say that the people who give you the quests will be other players?
I'm not sure. I think they said something like that, but I'm not entirely certain. I'm not sure. I think they might have said that something about no NPCs in the game.
Yeah.
And again, if that's true,
And
they're gonna make it kind of an empty game.
all NPCs will
this
be
is what-
other players. I don't.
That's
Well, yeah,
correct.
but I mean, if you only run into like 15 other players in any given server,
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of people.
Yeah, now if it was like 100 or something, I'd totally be down. It'd be more of a populated world. I feel like 20, I feel like I may not encounter anybody through my playthrough if I'm not playing with anybody alongside me. Or anybody that I do encounter might be all dicks, and I'm not looking forward
Might
to
just-
that.
Yeah. What if what if you're,
What stops them from just shooting you?
what if you're playing on like a private server where it's just you and your friends? Is there going to be like no one else around?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, they would
Well-
have to have NPCs of some sort for that.
Yeah.
They're talking about robots.
Oh my.
Mr. Handy specifically. You can build them. You can get them from the vault. They can give you quests.
all right.
You can make them into vendors and walk away and sell your merchandise to other traders that walk by. The idea is you build the town. You experience Fallout your way.
Yeah. All right. So it's going to depend heavily on other people, interacting with you.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
So I have a question on that going from there, and then Gilbert, I don't know if you want to wrap it up from there on out. But let's say it's a build. This is a make your own Fallout game. Basically, you step out of that vault, and we have enough content in this world to feel full enough. Let's say we're the gods of our own story. What kind of characters do you think you guys will play in this new Fallout world?
I always
Go for it.
I always play the hero in Fallout, so that's gonna be me. If I walk across another player just callously shooting other players, I'm probably gonna shoot at that guy and try to save them.
The regulator. So, Alex, you want to lay into that a little bit more and tell us what you're going to be doing in Fallout if you kind of create your job in this world? What do you want to do in Fallout?
Well, I definitely like to play a medic if I can find a team, but also a builder. The builder is going to be the biggest part, so I also want to do a lot of building. In Fallout 4, there was such a lack of towns that I wound up just making all my own and actually caring more about them than Diamond City. So
Yeah. Diamond City was a bit small, wasn't it, for the main town of the game?
underwhelming.
More like Diamond Town.
Yeah. Probably Diamond Shack Village.
Marshall, what kind of character are you going to be? Are you going to go out there bounty hunting?
I think I'm going to be like a lone wolf who hides in the mountains with a powerful rifle and just takes out traders as they come past. And then move to another location.
I am excited about role-playing and maybe possibly, becoming a crazy mountain man. And this is who I want to be. And this is my character. And I think that's neat to be able to come up to a player and kind of, just be in character. Marshall, you have your voice actor... your voice acting skills.
Yeah,
so
there'll be
just
like
to totally turn into this other character in a Fallout world. And
One thing
There'll be
we
like a
didn't
legend
mention-
on the server, like I heard a rumor there's a guy up in the mountains, and then other players will come and look for me.
Only to be shot and have all their shit taken.
Yeah, just booby traps everywhere.
One thing I am kind of interested in, mods. To see which way they go with them.
Yes,
Because they already have a mod manager network themselves,
Yeah.
which is how I think they're going to go.
Yeah.
Because it all has to be approved by Bethesda.
will a lot of it be through the Creation Club as well? I imagine.
I imagine all of it. I think
Yeah.
you're going to be able to run third-party mods. You need those third-party guys to run through Bethesda Net. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do it on an online game like that.
yeah, I see it being like that from here on out too. Kind of, the fan creation club, is that what we're calling it? Yep.
And they'll no doubt have a store, like an online store, like they do in Elder Scrolls Online as well.
Well, yeah, Bethesda's smart. They introduce features, and then they're building a game around them.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Gilbert, any last thoughts on the?
I'm excited for the game, and I think I will definitely be playing it.
Yeah, we'll keep everybody updated on that. I want to talk more about it next week if we get any more updates, and I'm sure we're getting more. We're getting really close to release, and we don't know a whole bunch. So I'm expecting there to be more consistent updates on that. So right on. Okay, cool. Let's go back to our quiz question at the end of the week. We're gonna make it a little bit shorter. So let's just say, kind of just give me the title of your show and what era and kind of what we're gonna be exploring in your Star Wars show. Marshall, what do you?
Okay.
What do you got wrong?
It's called Star Wars Underworld, and it follows the underworld crime syndicate of Jabba the Hutt and his bounty hunters.
Right on. Cool. Okay. Alex, what do you got rolling for your Star Wars show? Did you come up with the Star Wars title of your show?
I was just right now trying to Google what Seth Green and George Lucas's collab series was that Disney's trying to kill. I think it was Star Wars Detours.
Yep, Star Wars Detours. Yep. So you want that one back?
That's mine. I want it back.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Look.
So, and then Marshall, you brought back Underworld also. So we got Underworld coming back. We got Detours coming back. Gilbert, did you come up with one yet?
I guess, yeah. Mine would be Delta Force or Delta Team. The clone troopers from Republic Commando.
Republic Commando.
I'd want a TV show about them.
Live action, animated.
Live action, definitely live action.
Was Star Wars Underworld an actual thing?
It was an actual thing at one point. They have like 30 scripts written up or 50 scripts or something crazy, and then they said to be able to produce it would be like the cost of a movie every week, and they couldn't do that. So
that's probably where I got the idea from. Then I'd seen it somewhere, and I just thought it was my own idea.
Thief.
Yeah.
Right on. Cool. I'm gonna actually give it to Gilbert. I think he gave me a real answer this week. So Gilbert, thank you
first one
for being that's your first win. Okay. I think that's gonna be it for our show this week. Thank you guys so much. Gilbert, any plugs? Anything you want to get in?
No, not this week. I think I'm good.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you so much for being on the show. Marshall, anything you want to get in there?
Yeah, while we're on the topic of Fallout, I'm in an upcoming Fallout 4 mod called Fallout Cascadia. You can watch the trailer on YouTube.
Right on. And what's your role in that?
I'm playing an old man who gives you a quest.
Right on. So everybody look forward to Marshall and a Fallout 4 mod. Thank you so much, Marshall, for being on the show.
Thank you, as always.
Right on. And Alex, thank you so much for joining us this week. I know it was a little bit of short notice, but we got you on, and thank you so much.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, no, and definitely loved having you on the show and planning on having you on again, so thank you. Thank you, everybody. That's going to be it for the Fulcrum Report. My name's Sebastian. You can follow us on Instagram, the Twitter. You find us here on the Comic Experience. Please drop a like, subscribe below. I want to get you guys rolling more in the comments and bring you guys more into the fold. Subscribe, bell icon, drop a like, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening to Fulcrum Report, and have a good one. See you next week.
Thanks,
bye.
Guys.
Forget about your Grand Moffs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Grand Moff Phasma doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?